can't think of a better time to do this video than right now. D&D is riding high, everyone is super stoked for one D&D in a couple of months, and people just couldn't be more excited for new D&D content. Yeah, no. But it does seem like this chapter of the OGL controversy has finally come to a close. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, congratulations, but check out the video in the corner of your screen if you are curious. But for now, the entire SRD, which contains the basic rules for D&D, including the basic classes and spells and monsters, is now protected under Creative Commons, meaning that it is more open than it's ever been before for people creating their own commercial products using and building upon these ideas. So your big bad booklets, your Kobold Press bestiaries, your deck of mini animated cards, your Kobold Plushies, they're all gonna be fine. They are not going anywhere. Now, when 1D&D or D&D 6th edition or D&D 360 or D&D 10 or whatever they decide to call it eventually comes out, don't be surprised if it is much more locked down than 5th edition was, but we will jump off that bridge when we come to it. Of course, there are many D&D creatures and classes and spells that aren't covered in the SRD that aren't technically available for people to make content about, including pretty much everything that came out after the Dungeon Master's Guide, the Player's Handbook, and the Monster Manual, and certain classic creatures that Wizards considers to be Dungeons & Dragons intellectual property. Classic creatures, like these here, which have been around since 1st edition. D&D Classic Collection, Monsters A through C, and many thanks to Wizkids for sending it our way. This is a video that I was working on before the controversy hit. And there are two things that I think you should know now. One, Wizkids, who made this set here, is an entirely separate company from Wizards of the Coast. So if you are still feeling understandably upset about everything that happened, try to direct your anger appropriately. And two, this is one of the better mini sets we've gotten in a while. So let's take them out of the box and see why. Before we jump in, if you are looking for some new games to try, our good buddies over at Hit Point Press have you covered. They just launched a new Kickstarter for Constellation, an RPG zine anthology which includes 12 brand new tabletop RPGs for you to play. You can get them either digitally or in a nice hardcover edition. You've got everything from 100 Red Scales, an adventure setting inspired by Southeast Asian fabrics, to Mariah, a game of blood and sacrifice, to When You Meet Your Doppelganger on the Road, You Must Make Out With Them. This set is gonna keep you entertained and surprised for a long time, I bet. Learn more about it and back it today using our link below the video up here or in the eye in the corner of your screen. That is Constellation, an RPG zine anthology on Kickstarter now. Yes, these minis are in alphabetical order, starting with an Ankheg. Now, these are meant to be inspired by the original art from the first Monster Manual, so that's what you'll be seeing on your screen here. Of course, these creatures are still in 5th edition, including the Ankheg here, a CR2 monstrosity, known for burrowing up under foes, bursting out of the ground, and spewing acid everywhere. All the stats and books I'll be referencing on the left are in 5th edition. Next up is everyone's favorite statue maker, the Basilisk, a CR3 monstrosity with the ability to petrify foes with a glance. A condition which is made permanent after 2 failed DC 12 Constitution saves, though it can be reversed by a greater restoration spell, assuming there isn't something like a Bulette around that might shatter the statue before that happens. I am curious to hear if you have had some interesting petrification stories in your games. Let me know down below. Here is our rather derpy looking beholder. We don't lack for beholder minis these days, and I have to say I am not opposed to getting a less threatening one, as not all beholders have to be fearsome big bads. This fella could be great for the bar owner from Spelljammer or some other less sinister mad tyrant beholder. And let's be honest, trying to be faithful to the original Monster Manual art while still making creatures that look somewhat threatening is not an easy task.
Land shark.
Oh, Walter. Land shark. Ah!
Knock knock. Land shark. Yes, the bulette is what happens when someone says, "What if we give sharks legs?" Though in the lore, apparently it was the result of a wizard wanting to combine a turtle with an armadillo, using infusions of demon ichor. Mechanically, the only really interesting thing about a Bulette stat block is its ability to leap on foes to knock them prone and its burrowing speed. Up next is our Carrion Crawler, a large, unintelligent, wall-climbing corpse mauler. They're only CR2, but their ability to paralyze foes with their tentacles can result in some nasty surprises. He also looks like he's ready to give Anna Tor a little kiss. If you're looking for a bigger Carrion Crawler type monster, check out our review of the Epic Encounter box for Borrow of the Corpse Crawler. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the amalgamation creatures from D&D usually look pretty derpy to me. Those that try to combine parts of different monsters to make something new. I mean, it makes for a fun battle usually, but trying to make them visually realistic in any way is a challenge. And we've gotten some pretty bad Chimera minis in the past, but this one is pretty good, as you can tell from this comparison. And it doesn't come much more classic than a Chimera. This one was a surprise for me. I don't think we've gotten an official Cockatrice mini since the Rage of Demons set back in 2015. I don't think it's as well known as something like a Basilisk, despite also having the ability to petrify foes, this time with a bite. The problem with Basilisks and Medusas is that they're so well known now that even casual players probably know what to expect. But this little seemingly harmless monstrosity could take them by surprise. And if they do become fully petrified, they might also be surprised when it wears off in 24 hours. Finally, we have a new Couatl mini, which coincidentally is a great mini to have for the Pathfinder Intro Adventure Troubles in Otari, the first mission of which we play together on the channel here. You can see that up in the corner of your screen now. Couatls are generally good creatures that your party probably won't be fighting. They are celestial guardians after all, so while they probably won't be foes, they could be interesting allies or quest givers. They're quite intelligent and speak all languages. So, early on, back in 2017, Wizkids released a classic creature set that you can see here. And it was my least favorite set they've ever released. I was gonna feature Demogorgon as one of the big bads of the campaign that I was running at the time, and I couldn't help thinking that if I put that Demogorgon mini on the table after that multi-year campaign, that my players would revolt. It also had a pretty unimpressive purple worm and a troll that had such thin legs that it worked to be the world's greatest limbo player. For me, the set was just a mess. And I am so glad that we now have minis of, I think, all these creatures that are much, much better. And I was worried that this new line of classic creatures was gonna fall into that trap. If they tried to be faithful to that old school art, then we were gonna get some dopey looking monsters that just wouldn't stand up to modern minis. So, I am overjoyed that that's not the case. All these minis are solid and usable. And I guess what really makes them classics is that they all bring at least a little something different to the combat encounter. The limited rule set of 5e doesn't really lend itself to the most exciting combats in gaming. So anything that lends a wrinkle to the usual attack, firebolt is a win in my book. Classic Creatures A through C is available now for between $75 and $100. It's pretty steep, though it does include 5 large creatures, I guess. As always, keep your eyes open for sales, and we will include links to all of this stuff down below. Classic Creatures D through F is scheduled for Q1 2023, and it includes a Displacer Beast, a Doppelganger, an Afridi, an Air Elemental, a Fire Elemental, an Earth Elemental, a Water Elemental, and an Etten. And I'm kind of here for that Fire Elemental. Okay, shoot. Let me know what you think about the set in the comment section down below. If you saw our unboxing a couple of days ago, you know that we have some exciting new things to show you. Be sure you're subscribed to see all that. And we have another package supposedly arriving tomorrow as I film this, so there's no telling what's in that. We'll film an unboxing of it, and if it's good and interesting, we will post it here. Don't forget to check out Constellation, an RPG zine anthology on Kickstarter now to try out a bunch of fun and innovative new games. And if you'd like to help us launch our new actual play show featuring 4 super talented actors, performers, and comedians, you can visit our crowdfunder page for Love and Hate in the Mana Waste using the link below. I'm super happy to see that our buddies at Beetle and Grimm's got their Kobold Plushies today. They should be arriving to everyone over the next couple of weeks, and we'd love to see your pictures with them. If you post them somewhere, tag us and use the hashtag Kobold Plush. And you can find us on all of our social medias, including TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and Mastodon. For now though, please stay safe, have fun, love each other, and I will see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.